Open your book to page 587. Today's lesson is on how to graph the sine and cosine functions. So whenever you don't know what to do with a graph, you always make a table, right? So if you look on page 587, they make a table and they plot all the points. But that method takes like really long time. But let's go over how the sine function is done. So you have this circle, okay, and so that's going to do y equal to sine of x. So this is x, this is y. Okay. The way that this thing is, okay, so when x is your angle, right? So when angle equal to 0, what is y? 0, right? So that's this point over here. The next thing is you go to the 30 degree, right over here, at this position over here. Okay? So at 30 degrees, which is, but when you're doing the graphing, you want to use the radian, right? So at pi over 6, the height is what? 1/2, right? And you just go across like that. That's what you have to do. Okay? Or let's go and mark some marking over here. So that's going to do this. So at pi equal to, so this is pi over 6, and you just go straight across. So that's the point right over here. And then next one is pi over 3rd. So that's the next point, and it's going to be way out here, right? So you just transfer it over. So this is going to be right over here. Okay, and at a pi over 2, okay, I think we messed up. Pi over 3. Yeah, okay, so we're good. Okay, so next point, so this is pi over 6, pi over 3, pi over 2, right? So again, 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6. Okay, and again, you just go across like this. So it's going to be right over here. And the next point is going to go down, right? Next point over here is going to be right over here. Right? Again, you just kind of slide it over, right? That's where I get all this height from, right? Okay, the next one is pi. So this is going to be 2 pi over 3, and then pi over 6. So this would be 5 pi over 6, right? And again, that point would be right over here. Okay? Again, I just get all this value, right? And then next point is pi. Again, with sine is up and down, so it's 0, right? And the next point is right over here. So this is 7 pi over 6. So that's right over here. That's this one over here. And the next point is right over here. That's 8 pi over 6 or 4 pi over 3, right? Same thing. So again, you just slide this across. So it's going to be right over here. And the next point is right over here. That's your next point. It's right over here. Right, again, all I'm doing is just get the value from these. Okay? So as I go around the circle, you get this value, right? So instead of keep going around the circle, basically you just unravel the circle. Okay, and next point is this point over here, and that will give me this point. Next point is this point, and that will give me this point right over here. Next point is 2 pi, and over here. And if you connect the dots, okay, and then after that it goes up, it just repeats itself, right? Next one, it will go up to here, right? So it just repeats itself. Okay, so it just repeats itself. So this is 2 pi. So 1 period is 2 pi. So P stands for period, so period is equal to 2 pi. So it will repeat every 2 pi, right? Because when you go around the circle, it's 2 pi. Okay. So that's how you do the graph. Okay. But notice how long it takes, right? It takes very long time. So that's going to be an easy way to do this. Okay. Now let's go over certain parts of the graph. The graph. Okay, so go to page 588. The first you need to know is the amplitude. So on page 588. So amplitude is the height of the wave from the center. So this is your amplitude, okay, the amplitude. And you can get a number from here. See the coefficient over here? So amplitude in this case is equal to 1, okay, because that's a maximum. See the coefficient over here? So that is your amplitude right over here. Okay. So that's the height. So that's your maximum. So if you were to do graphing, this would be the 1, and this would be the -1. Okay. So that's the amplitude. Next thing you need to do is you have to know about the period. So the period is equal to 2 pi over b. Okay. And the b number, so this is your b number right over here. Okay, so that's your A, and this is your B. So in this case, your B is equal to 1. So your period, the period is equal to 2 pi over 1, so equal to 2 pi. See that? So when you're doing the graphing, first you have to get those two things. Okay. The next thing you want to do graphing is you have to know the basic graphs. So if you notice for sine graph, so what you do is you need to figure out when it starts. So for sine, right, at angle equal to 0, the sine equal to 0. So it starts over here and it goes up. Now for cosine, if you look in the book, so this is the graph for sine. Notice it starts at 0, but for cosine, it starts at 1. Because if you look on the over here, so at angle equal to 0, cosine equal to 1. So this is kind of a turn sideways because cosine is horizontal. So that's why it is at a 0 degree, right? Cosine is 1. So you need to memorize these two graphs, okay? And it's very easy to remember. This is all you need to remember. For sine, it starts at 0, 0, it goes up. For cosine, it starts at the 1 and it goes down. Okay? And after that, they're the same. And if you notice, the sine and cosine are shift. Okay, they're kind of shifted, right? They're the same graph, but it's just shifted by 90 degrees or pi over 2. Okay. So now but we're not going to do this kind of graphing because it takes too long. So I'm going to show you how to do a quick sketch. Okay, so let's go over some examples. So let's go to example 1. So it says graph y equal to 2 cosine of pi over 2x. So when you're doing the graphing, it's easier to do the graph first than do the axes. A lot of time people do the axes and try to do graph after that, so it's much more difficult to do. Okay. So when you do this, right, you can first you do the wave first. Okay. So I give you a graph paper, so this is already done for you already. So all you have to do is fit the axes onto that. Well, first you know it's cosine, right? So if it's cosine, so you know it's going to be right over here. So if it's cosine, it's going to be over here. So that's going to be your x and a y. So first you have to figure is sine or cosine. If it's sine, then you will go this way, right? So if it's sine, then your y-axis would be right over here. So again, if it's sine, your axis would be over here. If it's cosine, it's going to be over here. Okay, the next thing you have to do is figure out your amplitude. So amplitude is 2, so you know that this is going to be positive 2. This is going to be a negative 2. Next, you have to do is figure out the period. So over here, so you can write all these things down. So you got A equal to 2, B equal to pi over 2. So period equal to 2 pi over B, which is pi over 2. Okay. So 2 pi over B, then you have to simplify. So you multiply by 2 on both sides, right, on top and bottom. So P equal to, and this cancels out, and this cancels out, so P equal to 4. So period equal to 4. Okay, so notice this is the maximum point, so the period would be the corresponding point. That means this point right over here. Okay, so use a pencil to mark your hash marks. So right over here, this would be the 4, right? And this is a 0, right? Period is 4, so from 0 to 4, that would be the 1 period. Then after that, you're just going to divide it up. So if this is 4, this would be the 2, and this would be the 1, and this would be the 3. Okay, another thing you need to do is you have to figure out the quarter wave. Quarter wave means 1/4. So quarter wave would be 1/4 of that would be 1. And this would be each division. So quarter wave is your division. How much is each division? So see that quarter wave is 1, so each division is 1. So that's how I get 1, 2, 3, 4. And this would be the 5. And this would be the -1, -2, -3. Because each division is 1. And that's your graph. That's all you have to do. Okay? So let's go and do a couple more. As we do a few more, it will become more clear. Okay? Let's see how we go. Okay, let's go to page 591, and let's just do number 40. Okay, let's go and graph y equal to -3 cosine of 2x. Okay, so again you have the normally, because it's cosine, so you're going to start over here, right? So it'd be on top, right? But negative means you have to flip everything upside down. So instead of starting on the top over here, your graph is going to start from the bottom of here. So you got to change that. Okay? So you got to change that. So it's no longer over here, but it's over here because it's negative. Now the amplitude is the absolute value. So even it's -3, but your A is equal to 3. Okay, don't put a -3. Okay, and so right away you know that this would be a 3 and this would be a -3. So basically -3 tells you where the starting point is. Right? It's -3, so you start at -3. Okay, so it's upside down now. Okay, so you have to know that. And B equal to 2. So period equal to 2 pi over B. So period equal to pi. So quarter wave is 1/4 of that. So you can divide by 4 or times by 1/4. Depends on if it has no fraction, then you're just going to divide by 4. But it's already a fraction, you want to times by 1/4. That way you don't end up with complex fraction. So quarter wave would be pi over 4, right? 1/4 of that. That means each of this division is pi over 4. Now you don't have to simplify these. You can just leave it like that. That's fine. So you just go and do that. So 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4, and what did I mess up? Yeah, okay, I'm fine. So 5 pi over 4, 6 pi over 4. Okay, so 7 pi over 4, and then 8 pi over 4. Okay, and if you go backward, okay, this is 0, this is -pi over 4. So this is very important. It tells you how much each division is. Okay, and the division, these are the intercepts, right? And these are the maximum and minimum. Those are your quarter point, and after that, that's it. Okay, so it's very simple. So let's go and do some practice, and if you have any question, I will come and help you. Okay. Okay, but they kind of go together, so don't freak out. So what happened is, so this kind of go together, okay? So this one, they want you to answer the question, and this one, they want you to graph. But so basically, they kind of go hand in hand. So basically, you have 10 problems, that's it. Okay, so what you want to do is do like what I did over here. So you do the graph, and you answer the question, and that's it. Okay, so again, so 27 go with number 1, 36 go with number 10, and so forth.